guys, what's up? Welcome to episode 1 of the Air Vegan YouTube channel. It's me, your boy, the Air Vegan. On this episode, we're going to talk about Nike's new Space Hippie collection, and we'll also talk about one of my favorite pairs of deadstock sneakers. But first, let's talk a little bit about the origin of the Air Vegan and some of the things that I want to discuss on this channel. 2 years ago, almost to the day, I was doing a ton of research to start making better decisions about the sneakers that I was buying. And because that research seemed not readily available to everybody else, I felt like I should curate a place where everyone could have better information about the sneakers that were not using any animal products that Nike was releasing. So I started the Air Vegan, and one of the things that I really feel passionately about is that when we go to the store and purchase food, we can always see the nutrition facts and figure out what ingredients are going into the food that we eat, but that's not happening in the sneaker world. I feel like if brands started putting essentially nutrition facts for sneakers on shoes, or on the shoe boxes, then the sales associates would be better informed. The writers who are at all of our favorite sneaker sites would be, better informed and be able to put clear information out into the space for you, the consumer. One of the other things that I wanted to talk about is the concept of circularity, how things are or are not breaking down in these landfills and the materials that are being used in these sneakers. I understand that real leather might break down easier than synthetic leather, but I honestly don't think that either of those things are the answer or the future. So in future episodes, I will be talking about the concept of circularity and how things break down in the environment. Another issue that seems to come up a lot, and I'm totally comfortable talking about, and I think that all of the brands need to do a better job of addressing, is the concept of workers' rights and fair pay and the conditions that these workers are working within. We will explore this further in another episode, in its own dedicated episode, but it is something that I want to acknowledge. There's a lot of chatter about it in the comments, and I always do my best to communicate back what my opinions on those things are. Repurposing is something that I think the industry needs to embrace a little bit better. There's an incredible amount of dead stock sneakers that are floating in the space. There's great secondhand resources like Round 2, and even GOAT has an initiative called GOAT Clean, which I think is doing a good job of keeping sneakers alive after their sort of fresh out of the box appeal wears off. Impact reduction is something else that I think is really important and that the brands need to acknowledge. Some self-regulation and maybe possibly limiting releases, focusing more on the quality of what it is that's going out into the world as opposed to just this excess of quantity. I think they can even mandate emissions. Nike's done a good job of that with some of the new factories that they're building. So if you're interested in hearing or seeing where I take these concepts and what my stance on all those things are, like this video, subscribe, leave episode ideas in the comments. I'm really excited to keep it interactive with you guys. To the Space Hippie collection that was just launched this week. Astrakhasnstev called it the most sustainable sneaker collection yet. Shout outs to Astrakhasnstev. Also, when we get into the materials of it, here's the full range. It's 4 shoes. They're 100% recycled materials that went into making them for the construction of the upper, including plastic water bottles, t-shirt and textile scraps. So, congratulations to Nike for really pushing the limits on this one and being mindful of the elements that are floating around at some of these factories. If you want to do some more reading about it, it's pretty fascinating. They were thinking about the way space launches happen and how you have to use all the materials available to you, and that you don't get to bring excess with you. So they came at it from an interesting sort of methodology, and the execution looks amazing. Here is another look. Here's the construction of the toe box for one of the shoes. Here is the bottom. The sole of the shoe is 15% recycled waste rubber that comes from the Nike Grind program, which is them breaking down shoes after they're used into granules that have gone into turfs and playground materials in different communities. It's a smart way to give the shoes a second life. I think they can go even further with it, and I'm excited to see where it goes from here. But here's a little bit more. Here's a look at the high, and here is another look at one of the other shoes, which was the first one that caught my eye. The Circularity insignia on the back of the heel tab. They're calling it space waste yarn, and space junk is the funny marketing terms they've come up with for it. Yeah, I'm really excited to see when these come out, how much they're gonna cost, and what the demand for a shoe like this is. I think this is the future of sneakers, to be completely honest. It shows a great awareness of the responsibility that we'll need moving forward. So history doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly rhymes. And so what I mean by that is that yes, the Space Hippie collection is brilliant. I'm so impressed with it, but it's not the first time we've seen something like this. I don't know if you can see the shoe I'm wearing here is the Flyknit Oreo trainer. I also have a white pair that's from my personal collection. This is the 2018 version. Originally they came out in 2012, but the thing that was revolutionary about this was the team that designed this shoe is the team that was working on Nike Considered. And if you don't know about Nike Considered, I'll be doing an episode about that as well. It's one of the most interesting things in the sneaker space for the last 20 years that I can sort of think of and want to spend a ton of time talking about. But this shoe was 80% less impactful on the environment than anything Nike was making at the time. It's super lightweight. The amount of materials that went into it are very simple, and it's knitted, it's Flyknit, it's flexible, but it does not compromise on design and aesthetic and looks. And I think that that's something that I think a ton about when it comes to vegan sneakers. They don't need to be corny looking. You don't need to feel like you're compromising your style or your originality. And I feel like this is one of the first shoes that really sort of took that into the modern sort of sneakerhead era. I think that previously the work that they were doing and Considered was certainly cool and revolutionary, but it was at a different time in sneakers than we are now. And so when they brought these back in 2018, I picked up a pair in black and white. They're one of my favorites, and I sort of feel like this was the beginning. This is, to me, very reminiscent of what we're seeing now with the Space Hippie collection. Those are the things that I wanted to cover here in episode 1. I mentioned some of the other things that you could look forward to. I would love it if you subscribed to the YouTube channel. I would also love it if you gave me feedback and comments and notes and thoughts, and hit me with things that you want to see me explore on the site. I'm viewing this as an extension of my Instagram account at The Air Vegan, which is something that just hit 5,000 followers, and I'm super proud of. but I think there's a long way to go, and I really want sneaker brands to look at the conversations we're having, us as consumers, and realize that we want to see a change in the industry, and we want to push them into new places, and that you don't have to compromise style if you want to wear vegan sneakers. So thanks a lot for watching episode 1 of the Air Vegan YouTube channel. I appreciate it. You guys have been so much fun over the last 2 years. The engagement has been amazing. I never expected some of the things that have happened. So thanks a lot. The future is vegan.